it's Skyview here with game 1 in the series between Taz and Sebastian. With Taz on the left side is playing Pricia, while on the right side we do have Sebastian playing Alhama'at. So this will be an Alhama'at against Pricia matchup. Now, as I mentioned in round 1, this is a very different type of Pricia that Taz is using. Now, usually, as I said before in round 1, most typical Pricia deck that isn't true Beastmaster is mostly focused on Sacred Beast, because you do have the ability to use God Art to put more Sacred Beast on the battlefield and gain a lot of benefit with this enter ability with burning damage on the battlefield to a resonator, bouncing a card back, drawing a card and gaining a life back. You gain a lot of benefit out of it. So it's pretty much a ruler with Hulong's effect onto it. Obviously Hulong benefit a lot more because it's getting quite big. Other than that, that's pretty much it. So but in round 1 we did notice that Taz used a lot of control cards like, you know, Soul Hunt, Seal Winded Light and so on. A lot more typical control cards instead of your Sacred Beast or Resonator type of deck. And we haven't seen a lot of Resonate being played at all by Taz lately, so meaning that it might be more focused on the ruler just to hit for a large amount of damage. So let's see how that really goes. Now we do have Sebastian on the right side playing Alhama'at. Alhama'at is your typical control ruler. It's pretty much a low-key. Now for those who don't play Valhalla back then, Loki is pretty much generate a lot of mana and use those. So it's pretty much typical like Loki, able to gain those mana and use them for your spells. Most of the time it has to be ancient magic for those mana counters to be used, but a lot of these ancient magic cards are really typical high cost. It's not quite cheap like you expect it will be. So yeah, quite different from what you usually see. So like ancient knowledge is a 4 cost. You have obviously the standard Black Moonbeam is a 2 cost, but majority of the time like any like a lot of powerful effects are usually quite high, not your typical low cost like a removal spell like 3 cost or 2 cost even. But let's see what can Sebastian do now. Let's get back to the game itself now. Currently both players are on 4,000 life point, not much has changed. Both players are currently setting up for their big play. Taz does have a Barrier Shadow in play, and Sebastian attempts to put the Pandora in play. Quite an interesting type of Resonate. Pandora is typically quite slow, because the fact that it is a fast format. Now this is being recorded before the balance was in effect, and this actual event was, I believe, was June 10th? Yeah, June 10th or June 11th, I can't typically remember. But so you pretty much you won't really see a lot of Resonate in the control deck such as Alhama'at, because you want to really focus on killing that Pricia, which is the true Beastmaster, in play with Black Moonbeam and so on. And now the Barrier Shadow is quite interesting. I'm not sure why you would have put on battlefield. I guess just for field presence, because again, Barrier Shadow doesn't really affect Alhama'at that much unless it shackles, because you're not stopping him from gaining mana, you're not stopping him from using mana. Even he does J activate, he's pretty much just pay 1 because he's typically will get it for free, unless you force him, unless you have 4 Barrier Shadow on battlefield and make him pay 4 to Judgment. Other than that, that's pretty much it. And not only that, unless Sebastian play like a lot of Regalias, Barrier Shadow has no effect at all. He could use the discard effect from the Endless. Oh no, wait, I can't say Endless. It's unfair. I can't remember. It's the red and black spell. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I just had it in my head, but I just forgot it. It's something. Yeah, I can't remember. But what it does is that it has the ability to destroy all 1 cost below, or you can look at your opponent's hand and remove it from the hand. So it's pretty much like a Scorn / Mist combined to 1, but it's a 2 cost, so which is really helpful. Able to get those knowledge of your opponent's hand, so you can typically push for big games or big plays. But however, we do see Taz just having 4 open magic stones to obviously interact with his opponent, but then again, you're versing a ruler that has more interaction than your typical Pricia deck, because again, he obviously Alhama'at has the ability to search out for Black Moonbeam with a Rune of Soul, and then use Black Moonbeam right away to kill your Pricia. So pretty much that's pretty terrible for Taz's situation, unless he's able to put a Windscarf Refuge on the battlefield to protect his Pricia from getting killed by a Black Moonbeam. That's typically the only way you can literally dodge Black Moonbeam in this current time. So yeah, there's not a lot of way to dodge Black Moonbeam. Once that Black Moonbeam goes on the chase, your J rule is pretty much dead unless you, like I said before, unless you have Winds Cup Refuge. Now both players are on 3,700 life points due to the Killing Stone and due to the effect of E-Bond Homes. Obviously those are Shock Lands or Shock Rocks. Unless you pay 300, it comes in tap. So let's see. It seems that both players have been passing and not doing really anything. That's what you don't really want to see in a control mirror match. Not the fact that it's bad thing passing with Open Magic Stone, it's the fact that it takes time. Now, it's not the fact that, well, the only fact that you have to take into consideration that when it goes to an actual big event, when you're versing a control mirror match, you're not just versing your opponent, you're also facing against time. Because again, control deck typically take a bit of time to take their plays and so on. So the longer the game goes, the worse for one of the control players. Unless the first control player able to get the game won maybe in like, I don't know, 30 to 40 minutes, and then the other player only has 20 minutes left to either force the draw or give the win directly to the other player. So which is kind of hard in this matchup. So I do say the favor does go to Sebastian because he is using a typical control ruler, allow him to use those mana he wants. I'm not counting out obviously Taz yet, but Taz doesn't really have a lot of way to dodge the obviously the Black Moonbeam, and we all saw in round 1 that he was focusing on the ruler to do a lot of damage. Now hitting another E-Bond Homes, obviously removing the top card, and he will pay 300 to keep the stone onto untap favor, so putting down to 3,400. So at the moment, damage has been done mostly by the stones, aka Shocklands, Shock Rocks, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, both players' field is quite empty. This could be a very long game, as you can see by the time of this video length. So lucky for you guys, you don't have to commentate, so meaning that your voice won't be tired as much compared to mine. Paying 3, using Luminous Judgment to remove all cards on the battlefield equal or below the X amount. Using Horn to shuffle back to the grave obviously allows you to, you know, recycle Horn and so on. For those that know, Horn is still legal, as I said before. Horn isn't banned yet in New Frontier during the time this has been recorded. I'm not sure it was worth using Luminous Judgment because the fact that you only technically got rid of a Barrier Shadow, which isn't an issue. Again, I would have saved that Luminous Judgment just in case your opponent really doing for that massive push if necessary. So that's what I will do. I will save the Luminous Judgment unless he literally has nothing else to play in hand, like a lot of cards in hand, like maybe 8 cards, that I can see why I can play Luminous Judgment. But then again, I would say I would typically hold that Luminous Judgment in hand just in case you necessarily need to pay for it or use it in the right time. Again, both players are really just setting up for the big plays. Again, like I said before, typical control players don't do anything in the early game. In the mid to late game, that's where the control players shine the most, using those control spells like Darkstorm in the early game, discounting the opponent's hand, using removal spells such as Time Space, Endless Night, and so on. Allows you to get rid of your opponent's field. Not only that, you have resonated pretty much vulnerable from killing spells. Maybe if you play Charlotte or even play like, I don't know, stealth cards to dodge it, and so on. So let's see now. Life point wise, 3,700 compared to 4,000 life point. Field wise, nothing on the field besides stones. We have 5 stones compared to 6 stones. That's technically all I can say. But then again, Sebastian does have the mana counters, which is giving him the slight advantage to use those cards. Again, he can use Ancient Knowledge to draw cards. He can use Ruined Soul to search for like Black Moonbeam. He has access to a lot of ancient magic cards if he necessarily play those. Like for example, Invitation to Disaster, burn 2,000 to face. That's typically what I will use in the Alhama'at deck because again, it allows you to burn for a lot of damage to face if you're versing a mirror match. Because again, like at this time, this game is taking way too long. Typically no one is doing damage, so the only damage has been dealt, as you saw, is mostly done by the stones. You might as well use some burn damage like Explosion and obviously some invitation to disaster to burn those damage directly to the opponent, put them in a weird situation. But then again, Taz is playing green, so Seal Winter Light, Whirlwind, and all this typical cancel spell can be quite annoying for Sebastian, because he doesn't really play cancel spell at this point in time, unless he's played Seal Winter Light himself. Dropping the March, quite interesting. March is considered as a darkness and a white light magic stone, so which would trigger Alhama'at enter ability and resonance ability. But then again, a free cost resonant, I believe his stat is 5/7 when resonant comes to play, or when a stone comes to play, depending on what color it is. It was the white magic stone, all your resonant you control gains +1/+1. It was dark magic stone, all your opponent's resonant -1/-1. So it's the typical AoE damage and AoE buff, so if that makes sense. So it's pretty much a very strong resonant in the late game if you're able to have a lot of resonant on the battlefield and push for that tiny little bit of damage each time. Seems that nothing has been happening so far, but I'm pretty sure that rabbit will not be on the field that long, because again, like, this is a typical control deck. And yep, in comes the Soul Hunt, forcing Sebastian to lose a card on the field and lose a card in hand. So it's pretty much a 1-for-1. So it's so Taz didn't lose anything on the field because he had literally has nothing on the field to be sacrificed for resonator wise. But while we do have Sebastian have to sacrifice the March and force him to discard a card in hand. So this will take quite a long time. We're already almost at the 12-minute mark now, and both players are already at 3,000-ish life point, and nothing has been advancing for quite a while. So this could be quite a long match. So let's see what can both players think. Sebastian is thinking about which card to discard. Mostly he will discard maybe a Remnants card or discard a card he doesn't really need. At this point in time, I think the only way you can literally win in this game against a mirror match is hand control, like Dark Storm, Nameless Mist, Soul Hunt. Like, any discard outlet allows you to gain those hand advantage is quite important, because like your opponent, because it's a mirror match, both players will have a lot of removal spells, so meaning any resonate you play on the battlefield will typically get killed really easily, unless that resonate you control in battle has barrier. That's the only way you can actually dodge a kill spell, and not only that, you can actually do some damage. Wait, what did he discard? I can't tell what he actually discarded from this far end. And playing Hydromonica. Hydromonica is a great card for control players. Typically you can just sacrifice it with 2 resources, put a key card you need on top of the deck, whether it could be like a resonator, a spell, or massive removal. It depends. So Hydromonica is a really good card, but sadly in a couple of months time, Hydromonica will get rotated out along with all the Regalias. So for replacement for Hydromonica, you can use the Arbor search spell. I can't remember the name. It has Fuel Lapis in it, which typically allows you to search for a card and add to your hand if you have 2 Darkness Resonant on the battlefield. If not, just put on top. So yeah. Let's see now. 3,700 compared to 3,400 life point. Field wise, Horn, the Sacred Beast, Hydromonica compared to Death Side. Yeah, again, nothing's being played on the battlefield yet, again, because it's a control mirror match. What do you expect? Both players are on very high magic stone count at the moment, but it depends if they can use those magic stones to their favor. Because at the moment, he's searching for Explosion, but Explosion won't work at the moment, because unless one of the players actually controls a Resonator, because you have to target a Resonator and target a player at the same time in order to resolve Explosion. But without Resonate on the battlefield, I don't think Explosion will resolve at the moment. But the advantage does go to Sebastian, because he does have Explosion in hand. So any Resonate being played by played by Taz, it's an easy target for Explosion, with those mana counter keep increasing. I'm not sure how many mana counter that Sebastian has at the moment, but he can gain a lot of mana counter with like Heartfelt if he plays it, and he can gain a lot of mana with Residence as well. So it all really depends. Currently at the moment, the burn damage can let's see do 2, 4, 6, 8 damage. So it can do 800 damage along with the mana counter if you really want to use all these mana counters, but I can't see the amount of mana counter he has at the moment. Let's see, gaining more mana counters, setting up for his big play. So let's see. He does need 22 mana to actually do the 4,000 burn damage in order to win. Well, he needs 21 at least. 21 damage directly to the face, and obviously to one resin in the battlefield. But again, both players doesn't have the resonance, so it's gonna be very, very hard for someone actually to get hit by an explosion, unless he played Invitation of Disaster, direct 2,000 damage to the face, as long as you awaken it for like, let's see, 9 mana, with awaken with 9 mana and pay the 3 additional, so pretty much 11 mana to do 2,000 damage direct to the face. The bright side is that you can do just generic 800 damage to the face by paying 3 mana, or you can pay 11 to do 2,000. So quite strong. But again, it depends if both players, or it depends if Sebastian does he play the explosion, not explosion, the Invitation of Disaster. Let's see now. Both players, or Sebastian is just thinking what his players do, because again, there's not much play that control play can do unless they can put something on the battlefield without getting killed. He's paying 4. Oh, he's gonna play that, what's his name, Valentina in Shion's body, Shion. Yeah, I can't remember the name. But in comes the Endless Light, just killing off right away, leaving no chance for a resting on the battlefield. So this is gonna take a long time, as I mentioned in this video. Control matchup is the worst, especially in mirror match. It takes forever to do plays. Usually that's the reason why I don't like recording control versus control. It just takes forever to commentate and so on. And I'd rather see a player use double Pricia in the mirror match. At least that's short and fast. That's from my point of view. But yeah, let's see how everything goes now. We're already at the 17-minute mark. He's using the Hydromonica to sacrifice to put something on top. I didn't catch what he actually trying to put on top at the moment. It could be a strong resonator that has a barrier against like kill spells, like against like Sebastian's like removal spells and so on. Depends what he's actually putting on top of the deck. He drew into it and I still didn't see it. And then untap stones and so on. Not sure again what he should pay for. Judgmenting, flipping the Pricia over, but without swiftness he can't really attack right away, which is within range for one hit KO by that Black Moonbeam, assuming Sebastian have the Black Moonbeam in hand. But again, unless he actually Goddark and get Sacred Beast on the battlefield, those those Goddark he has literally does nothing at all. That's from my point of view. So looks like he's just passing turn judgmenting, I guess, but then again the Black Moonbeam just one-shotted right away with no problem at all, and Imperishable doesn't trigger because Death Sight in play. So that is one sad dead Pricia. That's all I really can say. There's not much I can say. That's one dead Pricia. Now, if you recall, we didn't see a lot of Resonate in play for Taz, so meaning that is Pricia his only attacker? If it is, this is pretty much going to be the game. Unless he wants to stall out that, obviously, the match, knowing that he can't win, he can stall for time, but then again, he putting himself in a bad situation when the game does finish. He's less time to finish his opponent in game 2, and you need all the time you want to against an opponent. Again, life point hasn't changed that much. Like I said before, the only damage has been dealt to each other was the stones, which is, again, can't do much unless both players are able to do some kind of burn damage. And Sebastian's paying a lot of resource. What is he actually playing? Oh wow, he's actually draining life and sapping the opponent's life point. I think he paid, let's see, I think he paid 7 mana, but then again got Seal and Win the Light right away with no problem at all. Now what that card does is that it really depends what mode you choose. Majority of the time you target the player, so if you target the player, it actually does 300 damage to your opponent for the X amount you play. So say for scenario you pay 5 additional mana, not including the 2 additional is actually cost. You multiply by 5, it does 1,500 damage directly to your opponent. That is quite a lot of damage just for a spell, and not only that, you gain back the life that you damage to your opponent. So obviously that Sebastian has two ways of winning at the moment, either zapping the opponent's life point down to 0 or using explosion for burn damage. But we do see a Blazer incoming, doing 1000 damage to the face, putting Sebastian down to 2400 life point. And then it died. It died? Yeah, it died. Died as a sad man. So yeah, nothing can be helped. Does put Sebastian down to 2,400 life points compared to Taz's 3,400 life points. Easy damage being dealt, and not only that, the Blazer can be resurrected from the graveyard by paying, I believe, 6 mana, 2 red, 2 darkness, and 2 colors, which is a high, hefty cost, but then again, it never dies unless you actually somehow remove from the game. Looks like Sebastian is judgmenting, so paying 0 resource because he typically has the mana, but in comes the Black Moonbeam, killing that right away, that Alhama'at in its general form. But then again, it didn't really matter. Majority of the time when you do J activate, you just there to gain the additional 1 mana. So yeah, killing that Alhama'at in its general form quite easily, unless Sebastian's strategy is trying to go to the 3rd form, which completely failed now. There's no way he can flip the 3rd form because his 2nd form just died, obviously. And unless he has Ryu to actually heal it, there's no way he can actually survive that. Let's see, he's paying, I can't see from here, quite a bit amount, 2 for, I think paying 7? Yeah, I think he's paying 7 in total. No, 8 in total, I'm pretty sure. No, 7? Yeah, using another zapping power ability, trying to zap the opponent's life down. He does zap his opponent for 1000 by the looks of it. Yes, no. Zap him for 1500, put him down to 1900 life point. Quite scary. Yeah, not looking too good, and it did raise Sebastian's life point by 1500 at the same time, which putting him back to 3900 life point. Which is key because the damage that dealt by Blazer is nullified, so meaning that, you know what, if you try to Blazer me, I'm gonna zap your life point away, and if the Blazer somehow survives on the battlefield, I'm gonna explode full game. So at the moment, Sebastian has a lot of options to play. Not looking too good at the moment for Taz, because Taz at the moment, the only resonator he has is Blazer, and Blazer at most can do 1000 damage, and he has to pay 6 resources to revive from the graveyard. Not only that, if his opponent Sebastian able to keep sapping his life point and gaining life point at the same time, it's gonna be very hard for the opponent to actually break that wall. Gaining more mana counters, and those mana counters most likely will be using for explosion when both players either have a resonant on the battlefield to be targeted by the explosion. You only need one target, you literally need 1 target, literally. So yeah, and not only that, Blazer will always keep sacrificing himself unless Blazer puts something back to the bottom from the remove pile, and he's actually dropping the Kukula Resonator. I can't remember the name of it. I think something start with N Napkin or something. Can't remember. You can actually play a spell from hand for free and using Lumious Judgment. I'm not sure about using Lumious Judgment. Oh, never mind. He's actually using the horn. No, he's not using the horn. He's using the Death Sight from Graveyard. And he's actually using the horn. I'm not sure about that play for Taz because his Blazer's literally in the graveyard. I don't agree with that delay. I will just let it sacrifice or let the horn get removed, because without the Blazer in the graveyard, you have no way of doing damage unless you top deck the Blazer from the top of the deck. I will just let that horn get removed, to be honest. And not only that, his opponent actually removed his own Death Sight, putting a target for a Blazer to remove. So pretty much it's like if you actually remove that Blazer, if that Blazer stay on the battlefield, it's an easy target for the burn spell he has in hand, Explosion, assuming his own resident doesn't die. Not sure how many mana counter he has, maybe at least 6 at least, maybe 7 or 8 now because of the J Ruler and then the mana from the residents. 8 mana, so he casts like what? Let's see, 8 mana, he has 6 left, he can do 1200 damage with Explosion on his own, not including the magic stone he has. So yeah. Life point wise 1900 compared to 3900 life point. Putting another Death Sight in play, quite pointless. I don't see the point putting a Death Sight in play. I'd rather keep it in hand as a bluff, saying that I have an extra card in hand for you to actually, you know, have to get rid of, or something to bluff at least. Yeah, not looking too good for Taz at the moment, because at the moment, as I said before, Sebastian does have Explosion in hand, so he can literally just target his own resident and kill it. But Taz does have a lot of magic stone open, so, and we did saw that he reshuffled his graveyard, so his cancel spell are back, but he did lose the Blazer, but he can block the cancel spell against his opponent. And that J-Roll can't do anything at the moment because it got killed by a Black Moonbeam. Unless Sebastian can heal it, which I completely doubt it. And he has to use this mana counter wisely, because you want to use majority of the mana counters for like Explosion, unless you have some way to regenerate those mana, like Stone of Evaporation or even Heartfelt to regain those mana. That's the only way you can gain a lot of mana out of this, because you typically are out of stone at the moment. Paying 3 resource, 4 resource, and a lot of mana. Using Explosion targeting is an outlet, I'm pretty sure, and Seal Wind and Light does resolve. That really sucks, because Sebastian used a lot of resource for that. Now he can't do it. I think he was just going for 2000 damage, but in comes the attack directly. He should have done that at least first, attack directly to face, and then explode it with less mana counters, so that would save him enough mana counters to use later for his own cards like Ruin the Soul and so on, because I can't see any blue source, so meaning that any like blue stone magic stones or blue ancient magic stone, you can't use it, like you have no more mana, so you need to find a way to gain this mana, and the only way you can gain mana out now is pretty much Heartfelt. And he what's it called? And we do have Taz healing his J Ruler and flipping over once more, so he does have the J Ruler, he does have the Riolu on the battlefield, so pretty much he has a strong field advantage at the moment. But it all depends if Sebastian can kill that Pricia once more, and killing that Pricia once more will cause a lot of problem for Taz, because his current he does kill it. Easy evasion or destruction, something evasion, I don't know, that destroy a non-magic stone type of card, and killing the J Ruler right away really hard with 4 resource, quite heavy. I guess he didn't want to play another Black Moonbeam, because again, that spell card can actually destroy any non-magic stone cards. So he can destroy a Resonator, Addition, Regalia, and so on, and a J Ruler. So having 2 Black Moonbeam is nothing. He usually don't want to have 2 Black Moonbeam in the deck, obviously. Once one resolves, the other will be dead. Let's see. Paying a lot of life. Oh, not a lot of mana to kill the Resonator, and using Awaken of Black Lightning to grab it back to hand. Very interesting, using that removal spell. Very annoying, because now any Resonator played by Taz at the moment will just get killed by Black Lightning and then recycle, killed by Black Lightning and recycle, unless Taz has a Darkness Resonator which can't be targeted by Black Lightning. That's the only way. Not looking too good for Taz at the moment. He's just top decking while his opponent is doing something like dropping Resonator, doing some minor damage and so on. Not looking too good at the moment, I can say. Not looking too good. So let's see now. 2,900. No, 2,900. We have a 29-minute mark now. We're already at the 30-minute mark now. If I was Taz, I would scoop right away. There's no way you can win. You already lost your ruler unless you can heal it again. there's no way. You might as well just skip and hope for game 2 to do well for your favor, because at the moment you're just wasting a lot of time, and time is not in your favor, especially a control mirror match. Let's see what can Taz do. What did he actually search for? Grew into it. Unless he can heal his rule again. Tapping for those regalias. Not sure. Oh, he is going to heal once more. So this will be the 3rd judgment being played by Taz. unless Sebastian can kill it again with no problem. There's no way any Resonate at the moment or can battle against Pricia, because Pricia can buff itself up with the Regalias ×2. So we're doing 14 damage and repumping it before and after recovery, so that's 18 damage instantly. But then again, we do have Sebastian has the ability to sap life if he draws a spell he needs. Let's see now, counting his stone lineups to see what he can use with. I hope Sebastian has another Black Moonbeam, because this will be interesting if able to kill the 3rd wall for the 3rd time. Using Black Lion, killing it, and reusing that, but however Black Lion cannot target J-Ruler, so that's the only downside, so meaning that that Pricia will easily do a lot of damage at the moment. So let's see now. 1,200 compared to 3,900 life point. Field wise, one Death Sight and one and one I don't know, some that Kukulu Resonators, and then 2 Regalias for Sebastian, 2 Regalias for Taz, and he has a J-Ruler. And it seems like Sebastian before recovery pumping that his own Resonate by +5/+5 counters onto it, so very strong. 12/12, but it's still no match for Pricia. I'm not sure why he actually did it that way, but unless he has no one in hand to force out the attack. And using Darkstorm, discard the opponent's hand with hand control, but in response sealing it, I guess. He has no card in hand, might as well use it, right? So let's see, this is just a very long game and I'm getting very tired at the moment. I'm halfway, boys, I'm halfway, and girls, in case any of my female fans are watching. Let's see. Field wise, 2 Death Sight, 1 Pricia compared to 1 Death Sight and a the Kukulu. That's how I'll call it for now. Let's call it the Kukulu Resonator, because it is a Kukulu. I can't remember the name. What is it? I can't remember the name. For those who don't know, I'm terrible with names, so if you tell me your name right now, like in real life, I'll forget it maybe in the next 5 minutes. And be like, yeah, your name is again, yeah. Unless I know you really well, I'll remember your name. So for new people, I will typically forget your name in the first 5 minutes, unless you keep saying your name like every single second, then I'll definitely remember that. Attacking directly and then getting blocked, and then Pricia get the buff from the 2 Death Sight, and the Resonate died. Oh, I thought he might have another of those pumping spells or debuffing spell against his opponent. Guess he didn't. Now Sebastian is wide open, so obviously that Taz can do a typical damage direct to the face. I don't see why not. His opponent is completely wide open, and if he able to kill the J-Rule, he would have done a long time ago. But he's actually passing turn. Oh, I'm not sure about that. You should have just attacked directly. His opponent is wide open. Yes, his opponent does have a lot of open Magic Stone, but if he able to kill that J-Rule, he would have done it right away. Just saying, like right away. There's no questions asked. Kill the J-Rule if you can. If you can't, then oh well. So he should have done some damage. At least put Sebastian down to 2,900 life point. Dropping another big resident on the battlefield. It's either Shion or Valentine. I don't know. I know that the lore story of Force of Will. At the moment, Valentine has went to people's body and so on. So it's in Valentine's body at the moment. Not Valentine. It's in Shion's body at the moment. So what that resident does is that it has unique ability. So by putting remove cards from your opponent's remove pile back to the bottom of the deck, it gains like a damage output, like increasing attack damage and defense damage. Not only that, gains some, I believe, symbol skills. I believe it was first strike or something on this line. So attacking directly, and he did put a cards back to the bottom, and it's actually 14 at the moment. So the block by Pricia will get killed right away. So let's see. Removing 3 more cards from the grave. I'm not the grave, from remove power back to the bottom of the deck, increasing +5/+5. And Sebastian did the death side play, so +4/+4. So they both equal damage at the moment. So Sebastian able to kill the J-Rule for the 3rd time. Unless he can actually buff his own Resonator and then let the Resonator survive. But nope, he actually died really easily, and now killing the J-Rule for the 3rd time in this game. I'm surprised that you're able to activate 3 times in this game and able to die 3 times as well, which is quite surprising. So yeah, let's see now. Pulling Rachel on the battlefield. Rachel, yeah, it's Rachel. Rachel is an angel / demon reasoner. For obviously, if you hit a light magic stone or dark magic stone, a trigger will happen hit darkness magic stone, a trigger will happen, and it will destroy a resident with 3 costs below. It's flying, so evasion, I guess, and 7/7 stats for 3 costs as well. So you can do those damage output really easily. So let's see now. This is a very long game, and obviously Sebastian's in the lead with life point and field wise. Darkstorm incoming, forcing the opponent to discard 2 cards. And using Whirlwind, no, Gale Force, oh wow, Gale Force killing the Rachel. That was really unexpected and random as well. Using Whirlwind, and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna lose my card anyway, so I might as well use it. That random Gale Force though, killing the Rachel, is quite funny. Because I was not really expecting Gale Force from Taz, but then again, we are in the Pricia True Beastmaster format at the moment, and obviously giving them flying is quite easy, so I can see why the tech choice of the Gale Force is in play in the deck, obviously. But it's just funny the fact that Rachel just got hit by a Gale Force out of nowhere. In comes Xion/Valentina, is one of those 2 names. Using the ability to give a swiftness if it wants to, but he'll be returning a lot of cards back to the bottom and giving a lot of option for Taz. And looks like he's just passing turn. Yeah, he's just passing turn. Quite interesting. Yeah, very interesting. I would have just put those cards back to the bottom and did some free damage direct to the face. That's what I would have done anyway. So let's see now. He can just push directly for game and then return all cards back to the remove pile into the bottom of the deck and do 14 damage. He could have done that. And using this card to look at the opponent's hand, and in comes Endless Night, killing the Resonator off, saying that nope. And Gale Force gets removed. That random Gale Force get removed, and obviously like Sebastian's like at least my Rachel will be surviving from now on, hopefully. Let's see, 1,200 compared to 3,900 life points. We're almost at the 40-minute mark now, so a very long game. In comes the Blazer. Did he actually top the Blazer? Attacking directly, putting him down to 2,900 life points. Now it's a race of life point damage, and so yeah, and he actually puts the card back to the bottom of the deck, so Blazer can be alive. But here comes the destruction effect, killing the Blazer off, saying that, you know what, I'd rather you play 6 resource than 4 resource each turn, or nothing at all. So I guess a free kill is a free kill, right? 4 minutes almost. Passing turn. I wonder how someone's gonna win this game. Is it just going to time and it's gonna be a draw? I'm pretty sure. 1,200 compared to 2,900 life points. Passing turn. I don't think Taz can really do much at the moment besides using Blazer, hitting maybe 3 more times for a game, assuming his opponent doesn't finish him off. Because Taz's life point is quite low at the moment. He only has 2 depth side, nothing on the field, and a blaze in the graveyard can be resurrected. Wait, can he be resurrected? I don't think he can resurrect it. He needs 2 red. He can't resurrect it. Oh, that's pretty bad. He only has 1 redstone to be played and he can't resurrect it. That is so bad. At the moment for Taz, he's in a weird situation. Like, I have blaze in the graveyard, but I can't get it back. quite a awkward situation. In comes the here comes the March, giving the field global ability if he plays another stone or something on this line, but at least that Resident Evil will do some damage. That's all I can really say. And using Ruined Soul, do you have the blue source? Oh, I think he must. Oh yeah, the rabbit considered as a darkness / light magic, so he gains a Resident ability from the Alhama'at. That's right. So using Ruined Soul, what is he gonna search for? Maybe explosion? Invitation, perhaps? Any burn spell, perhaps? Ooh, I think he's looking at the Flame of Worlds or Worlds of Flame. At least that does. Yeah, he's searching for that card. Burning 800 damage to face, at least, and 800 to field, which is nothing on the field. 1,500 to the J roll, which is not on the field, and forcing the opponent to lose a stone. I guess so. Both players' deck are quite small. Well, especially for Sebastian, because he's been drawing a lot and so on. Quite a long game. We're almost at the 42-minute mark now. So not looking too good. And too bad it doesn't have Swiftness. Yeah, Swiftness can just finish the game off right now and go to game 2. But yeah, it looks like it's not gonna happen in time soon, boys. Not happening in time. And girls. So paying a lot of mana and using burn damage direct to the face, forcing the opponent to lose a stone. But his opponent does have a killing stone though. So that random killing stone said that you're gonna lose 1 life and I gain 1 life. So put him back to 500 life points instead of 400. And putting Sebastian's life down to 2,900 life points. So yeah, easy damage. So looks like he's scooping it up, saying that, you know what, I can't win the game. Let's proceed to game 2. Okay guys, welcome back to game 2 now. With game 1 in the bag for Sebastian, he doesn't have as much pressure compared to Taz. Taz, on the other hand, is a lot of pressure at the moment. He has to force the game 3. If he doesn't force the game 3, it's a terrible situation for him to be. Not only that, he has to fight against time. And by fighting against time, it's not a pretty sight when you're down to like, what, less than 15 minutes left? So yeah, not looking too good. But however, it does allow Sebastian to, like, you know what, I can slowly play this without so much pressure. If you have Resident on the battlefield, I'll kill it. You have J-Roll on the battlefield, I'll kill it. So that's Sebastian's strategy at the moment. Slow things down and force the time in the round, and hopefully he survives that 3-turn round and he wins by default, because he did win game 1. And again, time is not looking too good for Taz. He's fighting against time and his opponent at the same time. So both players are sticking with the same rule, haven't substituted any rules at all. In round 1 with this sword, Taz substituting out his Pricia into Charlotte. Looks like he's not doing that. And obviously Sebastian can't really substitute his ruler into anything else. Otherwise he'll be paying a lot of life points just for ancient magic stones to keep it standing, or untapped, I should say. Let's get back to the game itself. Currently life point was 4,000 compared to 4,000. Both players haven't done anything so far, but however we do see a depth sight compared to a depth sight and a horn. Both players have not high life points, but neutral life points. Nothing has changed, but a lot of resources open, so very interactive type of decks obviously. Both players are playing control, but again, like I said before, the difference between Taz's control and Sebastian's control, Sebastian has mana counter, so you can use those mana counter for ancient magic cards to draw, search, kill something, or he can actually play discard control, which is like controlling his opponent's hand with like Dark Storm, Nameless Mist, and the other one, the red-black one, I can't remember the name off the top of my head, which removes the card, which he does play right now, able to look his opponent's hand and obviously remove it. But in comes a Seal Winter Light saying that, nope, you're not looking at my hand, you're not looking at my strategy at the moment. But at the moment, what is Taz's strategy? He has to find some way to do a lot of damage in one shot, and he has to get rid of that Leviathan. Because we did see that in round 1 he did have a lot of regalias, and sorry for the noise outside, someone's been using like their car engine, like accelerating and so on, and pressing the accelerate button. Sorry about that if you guys heard it. So he does have a Hydromonica, so he can search for key cards. He got Seal Winter Light again by Taz when he tried to drop the March has or the Rabbit in play, not allowing Taz to gain any mana as well, because again the Rabbit is still considered as Light/Darkness Magic Stone, which will trigger its residence. Tapping 3, and obviously he has one open and a lot of Ancient Magic Stone, not Ancient Magic Stone, Ancient mana to use for anything he wants, and using the Hydromonica to pay 2 to sacrifice and put a card on top of the deck. Now, you have to realize this by now. Hopefully, Sebastian realizes even if Taz search for Blazer, he knows for the fact that his opponent doesn't play a second red source unless he has Leviathan in play, and discard Leviathan for another red source to get it back. Other than that, he has no way resurrecting Blazer from the graveyard. Tapping for another Magic Stone, hitting a Killing Stone, but he's not paying for it, saying nah, I'm not gonna pay for it, and so on. But again, Taz had to do something really early in the game, because again he's fighting against time and his opponent, and his opponent can easily just win by like not doing anything at all, and you have to do something, or he can just win by like using burn spell like Explosion, or even World of Flames and so on, or Flame of Worlds, whatever it is called, and those are ancient magic cards, so he can really use those to its full potential by using those mana counters that is on Alhama'at at the moment. Both players' field, when it comes to resonance wise, are quite clear. There's nothing on both players' field, and additions wise, nothing on the field itself besides regalias. The only regalia both players has at the moment is Death Sight, and has have a Horn and a Leviathan. And as I said before in game 1, those two cards are not banned yet in this current time, because this was recorded on June 10th. So yeah, let's see now. Taz doesn't have to worry too much, but he's paying 4 resource. What is he paying for? It better be something really good. Maybe a Valentina/Xion. That's the only reason I can see a 4 cost. No, he's playing his own Blazer. He say that, you know what, you hit me with a Blazer in game 1, I'll hit you back with a Blazer in game 2. And obviously he does have the red source to recover it from the graveyard and put it into pressure towards Taz. Now Taz is fighting Blazer, time, and his opponent at the same time. Triple kill right there, boys and girls. Triple kill. So let's see what can Taz do now. So at the moment, Taz had to find some way to remove that Blazer from the game. If that Blazer is still in play, then obviously you can easily do a lot of damage. But before recovery, in comes the Heavenly Gust, getting rid of the Death Side, saying that, you know what, I'm going to do as much damage as I can. It's doing 16 damage at the moment, and this is before recovery. So now this is after recovery, so you can tap 6 more to do 22 damage, which would put Sebastian down to 1,800 life point if it connects. So let's see. No Black Moonbeam. Whoa, that is quite interesting. I thought all Alhama'at players should have like a Black Moonbeam in hand, or at least Rune of Soul. Seems that he took the damage like a boss, surviving with 1,800 damage easily right there. One big play, half HP gone already, or half life point gone already. Paying 2, and in comes the Black Moonbeam. He must have just threw it right now. Terrible timing for the Black Moonbeam. He shouldn't need a last turn, so he didn't have to take that much damage, unless Sebastian purposely took the damage, saying, you know what, I can hit this, I can take this, easy. Other than that, if I was Sebastian, I would not take any damage at all, because obviously if this does force to go to game 3, it will be technically a draw, because he can't finish the game off with like 3 turns. looking at his opponent's hand, and I see a Gale Force, Unseen Pressure, and Soul Hunt. Yeah, get rid of the Soul Hunt, not allowing his opponent to discard his hand, which is great because Gale Force can't do much unless, obviously, Sebastian has some kind of flying resonate on the battlefield, like Rachel and so on. Paying 1. In comes another Soul Hunt. Did he just top deck another Soul Hunt? He must have. Now Sebastian's thinking like, what should I do? What should I do? He has a Death Sight in graveyard that would be great, so he can remove 3 cards from his graveyard, add Death Sight back to hand, and discard it. But nope, he's discarding Ancient Knowledge. I'm not sure. Oh wait, he's actually using Ancient Knowledge. Did he use his mana counter? At least? Don't tell me he forgot to use his mana counter. I have a feeling he forgot to use his mana counter. I'm not sure how effective it is because again, we only have like 5-ish minutes left before time is called. So life point wise, not looking too good for Taz. Not just that, looking good for Sebastian. But however, if he can stall that time, he can actually force the time in round. And obviously, if he can survive the 3 turns, obviously 2 turns technically, and obviously he will win the game by default. So let's see now, 1,800 compared to 3,000 light point. Field wise, Death Sight compared to Leviathan, Horn, and the Death Sight in play. But the advantage is does still goes towards Sebastian because again he does have explosion, he does have the ability to sap life, which is gain life and lose life against your opponent, and using Luminous Judgment, removing all of those cards from play. But however, he's sacking the Lave, sacking the Horn, going back to the graveyard, and obviously the graveyard going back to the deck, and then he only losing a Death Sight in general. So removing those Leviathans and so on is great because think of it this way, if Taz top deck a Ryu, he can actually heal his ruler and Judgment once more, hit for a ton of damage, which Sebastian does not want. Paying 3, adding a Death Sight back to hand, saying that you know what, free hand advantage, why not? So yeah. Playing the Death Sight in play, I'm not sure if that's necessary now. Unless he top decks a Lave and a Ryu in the same time, that's the only way you can play Death Sight, but I guess why not. Life point wise, 3,000 compared to 1,800. Field wise, Death Sight compared to nothing at all. Tapping with his turn, passing turn. Looks like Sebastian is like in control at the moment. Will he pay for that life point? He is on one down to 1,800 life point. If I was him, I wouldn't pay for it, and nope, he doesn't pay for it, keeping the life point a bit higher and removing Unseen Pressure. Unseen Pressure kills anything 400 below, instant speed and so on, but again, Unseen Pressure is not useful in this current time just for the fact that both players have no resin on the battlefield. In comes Darkstorm, hand controlling his opponent, saying that I'm going to control your hand, and say nope, still win a life. Bye bye, hand destruction. So that hand destruction, hand control is very strong in the mirror match because of the fact that even you can't gain field advantage with rule spell, you can use discard power like Darkstorm and so on to control the opponent's hand, saying that, well, I'm going to force you to lose cards in hand, and that's the worst situation. And then he's playing Valentina / Xion, 9/9 body, obviously that is more than enough to do a lot of damage. But I'm still surprised that Sebastian hasn't recover his Blazer from his graveyard because he technically can use it because again he can technically just gain pay 6 2 darkness, 2 red and 2 colors to put Blazer back into the graveyard to the field and swing for 1,000 easy 1,000 damage and so on, unless he removed the Blazer from the graveyard with Death Sight, which I completely doubt. Because again, you do want the Blazer in the graveyard, not from the remove pile, unless you're playing the OG Blazer from the Grim Cluster Blazer, the Dimension Eater. It activates from the remove pile and paying 5 resources to bring it back, flying, swiftness, all that jazz. Wait, does that flying? I don't think it has flying. The OG Blazer doesn't have flying, pretty sure. So yeah, it's a good combination using Death Sight, removing Blazer from the graveyard if you play the OG Blazer back in the Grim Cluster, but I don't think anyone back then was using that combo. So let's see now. Swing for damage. You have no problem swing for damage. Swing for 900, because if Taz had a reaction, he would have done it right away. There's no problem, just swing for 900, easy 900 point damage, no issue at all. He's paying a lot of mana to sap his opponent's life point, saying that you did damage to me, I'm going to sap your life for 1,500 and I gain back that 1,500, put me down to 3,300 and you're down to 1,500. And obviously, oh, whirlwind. I see. He said that I didn't see you have open mana and so on, so he attempts to whirlwind that ability, but again, Sebastian has like, meh, I have Energize. I can use that Energize for payment, so you still take that 15. Haha. So at least Sebastian make him waste a whirlwind, so that he could have said that you no takebacks, but he said I have Energize, so I can make you waste a card. Why not? I'm gonna be that nice guy, but nope, he's not. Swing for 900 ball directly, putting Taz down to 600 life point, and looks like Taz is scooping it up. So that's the game, guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys next time. Peace.